What is up YouTube, James Baek here. Welcome back to another episode of VGC 2018 Back Battles. Today we have the Mega Mawile team once again with Landorus Fairing, Nihilego, Hariyama, Mawile, Milotic, and Tapu Bulu. Let's get started and play some games. So, finally back home after a pretty hectic weekend. I'll be keeping you guys updated with a channel update, so I'll be looking forward to that. It should be sometime around this weekend, I would say, probably Saturday or Sunday. So look forward to that. It has a lot of stuff that I had to cover, like the regionals win. I did win Toronto regionals, if anyone hasn't kept updated on my Twitter or something. But oh no, really? They're giving us such a hard matchup, game 1. Okay. But yeah, I also finished college. There's been a lot of stuff that's been happening. It's been a pretty hectic week. How am I supposed to break through this? We got sand. My team doesn't have a switch into sand. My team doesn't have a switch into Lele. It doesn't have good switches to anything, really, on my opponent's team. Oh, man. This is going to be a pretty bad one. Pretty bad matchup. I would say your likelihood of leading Lele is so prominent. Likelihood of leading Lele so prominent. Let's go Bulu and Hariyama, I think. I think Bulu Hariyama is decent against my opponent's team. Do I like Landorus in this? Z-move Landorus could help. Mawile is looking pretty good for the Sucker Punch. I could go my own Milotic. My own Milotic has a decent shot against my opponent, but I'm not exactly too sure of how much I like it in this matchup. So I do want to go those two. Is Nihilego that great? I don't think Nihilego's that great. I think I'm going to go Milotic and then one of my Intimidate Mons. I think it's going to be the Landorus on my side because it's a good switch into Earthquake. So, oh man, they're throwing us a curveball right off the bat, but let's see if we can handle it. This team doesn't deal well with Lele. Doesn't have good switch into Sands next to Milotic. Oh man, this is going to be a tough one, people. I'll tell you that much. But very happy to come back home, chill out, and just play some VGC 2018 Back Battles. It's been a little bit. I haven't played since Toronto because of finals, and now I'm finally finished with that and back home. We're gonna see the Lele Zapdos lead. So I'm hoping my Bulu's slower. That would be best case scenario here, I think. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so not too bad of a turn, as I can fake out the Lele, or I can fake out the Zapdos and go for a Bloom Doom. What's nice is my Hariyama actually will be able to survive a Shattered Psyche. No, it won't be able to live a Shadow Psychic, but it would be able to live a Psychic out of terrain. So let's see what I want to do here. Bloom Doom is looking pretty good here. And a fake out on the Zapdos. Zapdos is going to be a bit of a threat because I don't have many ways of dealing with it really well. Hariyama is expendable here. I do think Hariyama is expendable here. I do kind of just want to go for the Bloom Doom into... I kind of want to double up Lele with fake out plus Bloom Doom. Zapdos Tailwind really doesn't matter much in this game, and my opponent might expect a fake out on the Zapdos, but I could also see the expect into Lele. I think the best thing that just doesn't lead me to losing something is just faking out the Zapdos. So we're going to see Lele go on the offense, which is fine. Oh, really? Okay, 2 for 2. Ally switch Tapu Lele is not exactly the most ideal situation. I do get a Bloom Doom off in the Zapdos, which isn't too bad, and I do confirm that it is a faster Zapdos. That actually sucks though, because I could have just went for a fake out plus Wood Hammer into the Tapu Lele slot, but I guess my opponent expected to fake out. Yeah, I guess my opponent expected to fake out on the Zapdos, and I'm not really sure if the ally switch was absolutely necessary unless the Lele doesn't have Protect. But Bloom Doom, oh my goodness, that did so much damage. Did you see how much damage that did? That almost picked up the knockout. Okay, that's kind of impressive actually. Unless Lele goes for Shattered Psyche, I should be good here. I think I'm just going to go for a Rock Slide Poison Jab here because I would be able to pick up a double knockout because my Hariyama, again, should live Psychic from Tapu Lele. So, and I'd be able to outspeed the Zapdos with Bulu, get a Rock Slide off. The Shattered Psyche into Bulu might be a bit of an issue, but that would get rid of my opponent's Z-move. So, if it is Escadrille in the back, I don't have to worry about it, as we are going to see the Z-move come out. It is going to be the Shattered Psyche coming out, and I don't know who this is targeting. I think it would target down to Bulu. I think Bulu would make the most sense here, but it could, in theory, also target down my Hariyama. So maybe I should have protected my Bulu turn 1, but I wasn't exactly too sure, and I didn't really want to risk like a Shadow Psyche. Oh, it is the Hariyama actually. Okay, that works. I'll definitely take that. Hariyama goes down. We're going to trade Hariyama for the Zapdos, and that's a trade I can take. My opponent did get rid of As long as I connect with both. Nice. So I'm able to get rid of the Zapdos here and get a decent amount of damage off Nihilego, and now I get a free switch into Milotic, and now my opponent doesn't have much for Milotic checks. So I think this is a really good turn because my opponent wasted the Z move, as now I can go out of my Milotic here. If you go Landers trying to intimidate my Bulu to slow it down, I'm in a pretty good spot. This Tyranitar is actually going to be the one coming out, which is interesting here. I wonder if you didn't bring the Milotic. Well, you probably didn't bring Milotic, I'm guessing, if you're my opponent. I'm guessing the Tyranitar will be your Mega Evolution. It was the only Pokemon that could Mega Evolve on my opponent's side of the field. I could go for Woodhammer into Lele and just Scald the Tyranitar. That's a play. I could go for Protect Icy Wind. That also kind of works. I think Hornleech should be able to knock out Lele, actually, though. But I think I'm just going to Hornleech the Lele and just go for an Icy Wind. I don't see a really big drawback with that play, as Tyranitar is going to protect. So that's nice too. I also thought my opponent could have protected Tyranitar, although I really didn't expect as much. I think Lele is a bigger threat. Oh, that's cute. But that works out for me, actually. It covers the ally switch play too. Okay, that's a really interesting play though. I'm guessing just Lele doesn't have protect then, because I think you would just maybe double protect if you have it. Because I really don't see the point of going for ally switch there, as I will be able to get an Icy Wind off. Slow down that Lele, so that Lele is going to be, you know, just a little bit slower. That Lele just going to be a little bit slower, which is really nice there. As having that Lele slower is really good for me, because now my Bulu is going to be able to outspeed and go for the Hornleech, unless you decide to click Ally Switch or Protect. And yeah, I'm not exactly too sure of why you went for the Ally Switch play. I understand it's turn 1, but this turn, I feel like you lost more than gained anything. And you would have just taken Scald anyway, so I'm really not sure. Maybe my opponent's trying to gauge what slot I'm going to focus on, but right here, I guess I'll go for the Scald into Tyrant. Maybe I should just double up the Tyranitar slot, because Lele can't knock me out. You know what? I'll go for the Tyranitar slot. I don't think Lele's too big of a threat now, especially with that speed drop. And I could see Lele protecting here if it does have it. But we're going to see the withdrawal, which is fine too, actually. So we're going to see the Excadrill come in. This is actually pretty ideal of a situation for me right here, as Tyranitar's going to Mega Evolve. So Hornleech into Scald should be able to pick up the knockout. I kind of wish I did go for the Scald in the Lele slot though, and the Woodhammer Tyranitar now. That might have been a better option. Yet I don't think this is too bad of a play, as I will be able to get a Hornleech off, do a good amount of damage to the Tyranitar, and we'll see it's probably faster. It does go for a Dragon Dance though, getting greedy there. So nice. So I don't have to worry about Tyranitar here. The Sand is going to expire in a few turns, which is really good, as Scald will come out into that Tyranitar slot. And, ooh, it doesn't actually finish off the Tyranitar, which makes this game a little bit more interesting. Definitely makes this game a little bit more interesting. I wonder if... I don't know if Icy Wind would finish off the Tyranitar there. That would be a interesting question, as there should be 3 more turns of sand left. There are 3 more turns of sand left. Bringing Landorus is definitely my smartest play here. The question is, what do I want to go for? I could see Iron Head in a Bulu or a Zero Run Crunch combination in a Milotic. I think the best play would be to go Landorus here then, and just go for the Scald into the Tyranitar slot, because I don't want to risk anything here, as I think Landorus is just a safe play. It allows Milotic to live the double up from both this Tyranitar and Excadrill, unless maybe like a crit, or maybe if this Tyranitar carries Assurance, it could pick up the knockout, but I'm not exactly too sure, as Iron Head's going to come out, target on the Bulu, which is fine. I also want to keep terrain control, which is really good, and it's just going to be a Rock Slide. So if we don't flinch here, we're in a fantastic position. If we do, we're in a bit of a tricky spot. That does a good amount to Milotic. Not fun. Yeah, that kind of sucks. I guess it's not the worst case in the world, but that kind of does suck. Yeah, it kind of does. Again, I think getting rid of Tyranitar is more valuable to me, so I will go for the Skull and Tyranitar. That really does suck, though. That really does suck, because I would have been able to get rid of Tyranitar. The Sand would have been something I didn't have to worry about. I didn't have to worry about more Rock Slides coming out, but then again, that is the move we have to deal with here. So we will protect Landers here, as Iron Head will go out into my Milotic slot. Oh, is my opponent trying to just flinch me here, or was trying to get the Bulu switch in? I mean, I'm going to live this Rock Slide, so I guess it's not the worst case, and I guess maybe Landers would have been knocked out by the Rock Slide anyway, but I guess you're risking me the Scarf factor then. I do get the Scald off, which is fantastic here, because getting that Scald is so huge into that Tyranitar slot. It gets a crit. Didn't matter there. It really didn't. But that's nice, my Lodic finally able to pull through, so I can't really complain too much. Although it still gives my opponent an opportunity to come back, I guess. But I feel like I'm in a pretty good spot now, because I can probably just sack my Bulu here. I really don't need Bulu to win the game. I think all I need is like an Icy Wind off into these Pokemon, and I'm set for the game. So the Lele is going to come out once again. Psychic Surge is going to activate. And I really just want to get this Icy Wind off, as well as a switch into Bulu, because I think I'd be able to live a double up from the Lele and the Excadrill at this point. And I could also avoid like an ally switch if my opponent expects me to aggressively target down the Excadrill with like a Scald or something. So this game's not over yet. It does look pretty bad though, but it's not over yet. We are going to get Bulu in here. And this Bulu going to bring out the Grassy Surge. Let's see what my opponent decides to do. It's going to be the Iron Head once again into the Bulu slot, which is a smart call. That shouldn't knock me out because of the fact I did have that Intimidate off. Yep, and Psychic going to come out and does target my Lodic. And my Lodic, please hit. Nice. Okay, perfect. Oh, that's so good. That is so good for me. Perfect. And Sand should be fading. Yep, perfect. So I got myself in the perfect position I want. Now I can just fire off a Scald and Excadrill and go for a Hornleech into the Tapu Lele. I should be able to pick up a double knockout, and even if the opponent goes for Ally Switch, a Hornleech I think would get me enough recovery where I might live the Iron Head. I'm not exactly too sure, but Excadrill isn't exactly the bulkiest Pokemon ever. And I don't want to risk targeting into double targeting, expecting Ally Switch, but it could protect here, as we do see the Lele protect. I could have doubled up in the Lele slot if I expected Ally Switch, but I don't think it's worth it there. The Hornleech is going to go out into the Tapu Lele slot, and Scald is going to come out in Excadrill. That should be able to do a lot. It's not going to finish off the Excadrill, but I think it's good enough. We get a burn too, which is very fortunate, but I don't think it's really going to matter too much, as we are going to see the Iron Head come out in the Bulu, which is fine. Bulu's going to go down, and now still a fine position. I could have targeted down the Excadrill slot too, but I didn't want to risk the Tapu Lele attacking there. So I think I'm still in a good spot regardless, because this Excadrill burned as well, really helpful. And now I can get a Landorus in, and my Landorus is going to be able to outspeed both of these Pokemon. Sludge Bomb might have helped in this situation though. But then again, there could be a potential ally switch, so I don't have to worry about the Excadrill too much. I think my Lodic can just solo the game if I just recover here. And I think a safe play for me is just to protect and recover, because I think there's really no drawback into that play. Because my opponent really can't punish it. If he double target my Lodic, not really a big deal. Because I think he would still, like, I would still come out with the benefit, I feel like. Because I don't think my opponent's doing enough damage to my Lodic here. So, let's see what my opponent does. As I will just protect Landorus, and I feel like you do kind of have to get rid of Landorus at this point for damage offense, as we see Excadrill actually go for protect, which is not what I expected really, because I don't think Excadrill had much of a reason to protect, but that works out in my favor, as recover will come out from the Milotic and heal back to that HP, as we're going to see a Moonblast come out and target down my Landorus slot. So my opponent trying to get rid of the offensive threat, yet I think both of my opponent are offensive threats at this point. And now I think I can just go for an Earth Power into the Lele slot and just fire off a Scald and Excadrill. I think that's a very safe play. Doesn't walk into an ally switch or a protect play at all. I'm guaranteed damage at this point, so I don't think there's anything my opponent can really do. I could see the cheeky ally switch, I guess, maybe, or Lele protecting, but none of those actually. So I'm going to get the Earth Power off into the top of Lele slot. Does a good amount. Pretty sure Scald will finish it off in the following turn, as I will be able to knock out the Excadrill right there. And now it's Lele versus the world. I'm guessing you're going to target down my Landorus here and just try to pick up that knockout, as we are going to see the Moonblast once again, targeting down my Landorus slot. So Landorus is going to go down. And yeah, looks like my Lodic should be able to win this game, because a crit won't knock me out. Even if I don't knock out the Lele, I'll still outspeed at the following turn. I don't think there's like a potential win condition for my opponent at this point. As yeah, we're going to be able to pull through, which is really nice here. Really solid here, as Lele going to protect. Probably just trying to get a bit more of the grassy terrain, so maybe you can live a Scald. But even then, even if you do, there's really no difference. My Lodic's 100% going to outspeed this Tapu Lele. His grassy terrain does disappear. And let's see, do you live the Scald? I think you might actually. You might. Depends on maybe. I'm not sure actually. If it's no bulk Lele, I think I would pick up the knockout. Oh, I actually don't. As Moonblast's gonna come out, which is fine. It can't do anything. It can't crit. Well, it can crit me, but it won't matter at this point. As you can see, yeah, you would have needed like what, 2 crits in a row, and you're not gonna get another attack off. So I will be able to Scald off the Lele and finish off the game. So that was just a match I'm really surprised we were able to win, because I felt like that was a really tough game for me to win. I just was really glad I was able to get Bulu in at the right position because from the lead, because getting rid of the Psychic Terrain just really lowered Lele's damage output. If my opponent decided to go for a Shadow Psyche into Bulu, it could have been a completely different game, but luckily my opponent decided to go for the Hariyama, which I was Assault Vest, so you need to go for that if you want to pick up the knockout onto Hariyama. So yeah, pretty nice, even though Hariyama really didn't get to do much. The ally switch turn 1, it's still an interesting play. Because if my opponent went on the offense, if you went on the offense there, well, if you would have to go for Shattered Psyche, and I don't think you risk fake out Woodhammer. But I'm really surprised because if I went for a fake out Woodhammer into the Lele slot, it would have been a super risky position, and Zapdos wouldn't have been knocked out by a double up. Actually, now that I think about it, you probably would have. Look at how much that Bloom Doom did. That Bloom Doom, how much did it do? It did like, I want to say it did like 70%, which is actually kind of insane because Zapdos is a pretty bulky Pokemon, but yeah. And of course, if anyone is watching and wondering about my rating, I'm pretty sure that this is a new season of Battle Spot, so the ratings did reset. As we got our second opponent with the team of Tapu Fini, Landis-Fairy, Heatran, Charizard, Cresselia, and Celestia. Ironically, this kind of reminds me of some builds back in 2015 with Charizard, Heatran, so it should be pretty interesting. Should probably be Charizard Y, I would assume, on this team. And yeah, this is going to be another hard one. Hariyama's decently good in this matchup with the Thick Fat ability as well, helping out it. Calm Mind Cresselia could be really annoying if it is the Calm Mind Cresselia on this team. I do have to watch out for that. I think Milodic's a really solid call here because it prevents Landers from really leading, or if you do want to lead Landers, I get a boost on my Milodic, which is pretty good. I wonder if it's Bloom Doom on Heatran. That could also be another scary issue. Do I want my own Landis? My own Landis is actually pretty good here. I'm thinking maybe going Nihilego because it helps against the Charizard matchup. Do I need Hariyama? I kind of do, right? Because I need it for the Celestia. Okay, I got to think about this. I'm thinking the most expendable member at this point is my Bulu. Even though I really want Bulu because Bulu can really just do a lot of damage to my opponent's team. That's kind of difficult actually. I think Landers plus Milodic can work as the lead. I think have Hariyama and Nihilego in the back. This is going to be awkward. I really want a Bulu here, but I just can't fit it because I need Hariyama for Celestia. Again, Celestia is just such a big threat to my team. I'm going to need my Hariyama. And I also don't know what the item is. If it's Misty Seed on Celestia with Acrobatics, that is going to be a really tough Pokemon to break through. This is going to be another tough matchup, but I think I have tools for it. It's just going to be how do I handle the Celestia. I think I'm going to have to prioritize on the other mods next to it. We're going to see the Cresselia Tapu Fini though, which is alright of a lead for me, I guess. I kind of wish I led my Bulu. Bulu would have been great here as the lead. So on these teams, I kind of expect the specs on Fini, so I could definitely be in specs here. I wonder what I should really go for. I think a Scald and a Cresselia isn't a bad play turn 1. And maybe just protecting wouldn't be a bad play, but I could also try to get Nihilego in. This is going to be tough. I think I'm going to protect. I think I should have probably brought Bulu over Nihilego at this point, because I could deal with the Charizard if I get an Icy Wind off and then Rock Slide it. You could also trick my Milodic. I could also see that play for sure. So let's see what my opponent's going to do here. It is going to be a Muddy Water, and it is faster than my Milodic as it gets the Avoid, which isn't too bad, as I will be able to get Scald off into Cresselia. Just start weakening the Cresselia a bit as Trick Room actually goes up. Okay. And I did not bring a Water Resist. That's fun. But Hariyama should be able to come in. I wonder what kind of Z move my opponent has. I guess I can go out in a Hariyama here. I need Hariyama for Celestia though. You probably have it in the back. I think Nihilego is my call no matter. I have to go Nihilego. I think I have to go Nihilego always. Because I'm thinking if I go Hariyama on the Muddy Water, right, I wouldn't take too much. But the damage adding up over time is just so difficult for my team that I don't think it's worth it. I'll bring Nihilego in. And Ice Beam is just going to come out. And that's probably going to target down my Nihilego. And Scald. I'm pretty sure that this is Specs Fini based off the team, but we'll see here. I do get a burn on the Cresselia, which helps with weakening it. As oh, it's a Calm Mind variant. I would have preferred getting Hariyama in then. Okay. So that's difficult. I really regret not bringing Bulu at this point. Yeah, I really regret not bringing Bulu. It's definitely not an impossible matchup to win, but that makes things really difficult. I think now I start doubling the Feeny. If you have Psy Shock or Psychic, this becomes difficult, but let's see. You might expect Nihilego to protect here, as we're going to see the ally switch. Oh, man. Okay, that was something you could have considered. That is true. I didn't expect it to go right away. Muddy Water is going to come out. This shouldn't knock out Nihilego, though. I don't think there's a way that this knocks out Nihilego. Does it activate my berry? I think that's just so short of not proccing it. Worst case scenario right there. Do you get the Sludge Bomb off? We'll activate a berry onto the Cresselia, but that's not exactly what I wanted there. Actually, maybe I should have relied on my Milotic potentially to beat this Celesteela. I'm gonna protect Nihilego and just Scald. That kind of sucks. It does just shortly. It doesn't proc my berry on Nihilego. We're gonna see the Helping Hand here. I wonder if that's gonna be Helping Hand Moonblast, which wouldn't knock out my Milotic anyway. So it's Ice Beam, Trick Room, Ally Switch, Helping Hand. Okay. Get a Scald off. I don't even care if you go for Moonblast. If you get the special attack drop, that helps. But it's actually just gonna be another Muddy Water, which is fine here. Because Cresselia is getting weakened at this point. I do want to prevent another Trick Room from being set up later in the game, because I feel like if I want to beat win, I'm gonna have to go for my accuracy win, and ooh, I get the competitive boost this time. But of course I do have to hit all my attacks from this point onwards, so still a bit of a tricky position, but I should be able to knock out the Cresselia at this point, and now I can go for a Scald into the Cresselia slot. And I will go Hariyama here. Even though it's a Helping Hand Muddy Water, I don't think you Moonblast and Nihilego ever. I really don't think so. I'm gonna have to allow my Hariyama to take a bit of damage. This is still a really tough game though, because I think me not bringing Bulu just made this game a lot trickier than what it needed to be. So Helping Hand going to come out once again. I'm pretty sure we're just going to see it's going to be that Muddy Water. And I do hit the Cresselia, which is nice here. So I do get rid of Cresselia with the burn. Yep, as Moonblast is going to come out. That should target on my Milotic then. Yeah, perfect. Okay, that's fine. I should be able to activate Berry. Nice. Perfect. Okay, not the worst turn. Definitely not the worst turn. This Cresselia does go down. Excellent. I'm going to have to find a way to weaken this Feeny though. Like immensely. Trick Room does wear out. Misty Terrain does disappear as well. And Charizard's going to be coming out. Well, I would assume Charizard, but it might not be Charizard. If you go Heatran, you're Screaming Bloomed him. It's Celesteela coming out. Okay. At least it can't activate the Misty Seed, which is good here. I wonder if I should focus on the Celesteela more right now, because if I could focus down the Celesteela right now. I think I have to. I'm forced to go for Recover here, I think, and I fake out the Feeny. Because, yeah, I have to. Because I can't afford another Moonblast. You're going to go for Protect with Feeny. Smart play. I guess I could have faked out the Celesteela if I predicted that. But my opponent really didn't have to go for a Protect, which is why I went for that play. Because let's say I fake out the Celesteela and Feeny doesn't Protect. I'm in a really tough position. Otherwise, it's not the worst case if you Leech Seed me or something. Yep, Leech Seed's going to come out. Which is fine. Celesteela is going to be annoying, but at this point, I might just go on the offense against the Feeny and just go for a Scald plus Poison Jab, which I think I am going to do. I think at this point, Landorus is going to be the most expendable member with what my opponent can potentially hit the back. I should live a +1. I would say I would live a +1 Moonblast from Feeny with the Assault Vest and Hariyama. So Scald plus Poison Jab should, I think, under Berry range. And then I could put in range of Sludge Bomb for my Nihilego, which is what I'm aiming for. Celesteela protects. That's perfect for me. I got the best case scenario right here. Yep, Moonblast's gonna come out. Might be targeting my Milotic too. Yeah, it does target my Milotic actually. Really smart play, as I will be able to get a Scald off. At +2, that doesn't do much. Oh yeah, because it's +1. And I get the burn, which is actually fantastic here. So I'm gonna get a Poison Jab off into the Feeny. Oh, gee. Does that burn hurt me? It kind of does, I think, now. Because I think you're going to get the... You're not going to get the berry yet, but you could just protect the following turn and get your berry back. So, that made it a bit difficult. Although, I'm not sure. You could also Moonblast my Milotic, because Milotic is just such a problematic Pokemon for you to deal with at this rate. I think I'm just going to protect Poison Jab and see what my opponent decides to go for. I can't really switch out, which is a problematic part. Because if I switch out, I feel like I'm in a really tough position against my opponent. So, let's see here. Feeny doesn't look like it protects, which is really good. But who do you target? Do you go for the... What the... Oh, it's Waltarium. Okay. Is that going to Hariyama? I'm pretty sure Moonblast would do more than Waltarium. Let me count that. Waltarium... I think Moonblast does more. That's targeting on Hariyama. Maybe just trying to catch any switch or expecting the knockout. Actually, that's really smart because I thought it was buried this entire time. I do survive with Hariyama. Heavy Slam going to come out. Targets down my Lodic, which is like a huge sigh of relief right there. As I will be able to get a Poison Jab off and target down this Feeny. So I get rid of Feeny there, which is great. Oh, but... Still in a tricky position. It depends on the Charizard set, I think, now. I need to conserve some of these Pokemon alive now. It's Heatran. Whoa, whoa, whoa. That's not what I expected at all. I think I'm just gonna go Landorus here then. Yeah, because you have to target my Milotic slot. Probably for like an Earth Power if you have it. I will go Landorus here. Because Hariyama might be able to lift the attack from Celesteela. And I'm going to go for the knockoff in the Celesteela and try to get rid of whatever item your Celesteela might be carrying, like a leftovers. Really surprised not to see Charizard here. But that's actually fantastic for me. Landorus will come out here. Get this as Intimidate off. Probably, I would assume, is taking Earth Power from the Heatran. Because I think like you have to target on my Milotic before I can get a recover off potentially. We're gonna say Heat Wave, okay. That wouldn't have knocked out my Milotic, but maybe my opponent's trying to go for the double up at this point. That does a lot. Here comes a Heavy Slam. Targets down my Landorus. I should survive. Yeah, I do. Knockoff does come out. Misty Seed. Okay, so it wasn't a berry. Heat Wave doesn't knock me out. This position's really interesting, actually. I don't know if you're Scarf or not, but I think I'm just going to close combat the Celesteela and go for the Tectonic Rage into Heatran. I get damage to protect, which is still pretty good, as Heatran does protect here. I could have protected my Landorus, but at this point, I'm going to get the damage off into the Celesteela that I need, I think. Because I just confirmed it's not Scarf Heatran, so I should be able to go my Nihilego afterward. And this Tectonic Rage is going to hurt my opponent, like, immensely. And if you don't target down the Landorus, I can threaten the Heatran the following turn with an Earth Power. The Celesteela is still in an awkward position, I feel like. Let's see if it's Shuca Berry. It's probably Shuca Berry. I would assume it's Shuca Berry. And Drew Protect with Tectonic Rage. That has to be Shuca. There's no way it's not. Yep. As expected, Heavy Slam going to come out. That should target down my Landorus. Yep. Alright, that should be Special Defense. Now we get a little bit tricky here. How much does Close Combat do is the question. I think Close Combat should put in Power Gem range, but I'm not 100%. That's close, but I think my Modest Nihilego should be able to do it. I gotta bank off it too. I'm gonna go Nihilego here. I should be faster than max speed Heatran. I want to say I am. I have a lot of speed investment on Nihilego. And I'll just go for the close combat in Heatran. Worst case scenario is like you protect Celesteela and you go for like a knockout on Hariyama, but that's fine at that point because I got my Lodic in and it's the same position over again. So I'm hoping this knocks out Celesteela. If it doesn't, we're in a lot of trouble. Oh no. Wait, you proc my berry. Oh, but Celesteela's gonna win at this point anyway. Crits Nihilego. Oh, that damage. Maybe I should protect instead and just try to get my Lodic in safely. Here comes the Heavy Slam. That's gonna knock out Nihilego. There's no way it doesn't. Alright. Oh boy. That Celesteela's like on a sliver too. Still not over yet. Definitely not over. I gotta Scald or I gotta recover. I gotta make the right play here. I think I protect my Milotic, because if I protect my Milotic to scout for the Celesteela attack. If you have Earth Power, you just Earth Power plus power. And Heavy Slam. Why wouldn't you Leech Seed at that point? Okay, I'm gonna try to recover because recover might actually save me here. You should always go for Leech Seed in my opinion though. And that's just my opinion because Leech Seed plus a Protect should allow you to live my Scald afterward because you do have it. I will go for recover here. Maybe my opponent doesn't think I'm recover, which is why my opponent went for it. Let's see here. Earth Power. Oh, I need to live an Earth Power into the Heavy Slam, which I think I should at this point. I do. Okay. Sweet. I'm going to scout for the Celestial Protect again. If my opponent really wants to make a really good read, you go for Leech in your own Heatran, but I don't know. I feel like that's an unnecessary read. You don't have to, and it would lose you the game if I don't protect, because I don't necessarily have to protect. I could just Scald the Celestial slot, so let's see what my opponent does. No, you're just going to go on the offense. Okay. Yeah, you're finally going to go for Leech Seed. I felt like if my opponent went for Leech Seed, I felt like Heavy Slam was a choke there. I'm going to Scald the Celesteela. Now, again, we're playing this. Okay, sweet. And I'm faster than the Heatran, which is actually amazing. So I'm able to knock out the Celesteela. Oh, boy. Oh, man. Here comes the Earth Power. Shouldn't knock me out. Yeah. And now I can just recover off the damage. And Heatran's not going to be able to do enough damage. Unless it's a speed tie. Don't be a speed tie, please. Yeah, I don't think it is. So I get a recover off with my Milotic, and I will be seeing a Earth Power once again, turning down the Milotic slot. And I'm just gonna keep going for a cover. There's really no reason not to keep going for a cover here, because I don't want crit Earth Powers doing anything, so I will just go for a cover here. There's really no drawback into not recovering here. Earth Power once again. And I could get the special defense shot, which would give me the competitive boost. So I should be able to win the game now with just 2 Scalds. This Heatran already revealed his Shuckle Berry, so can't do much. Scald gonna come out into Heatran. Yeah, perfect. And Earth Power, that's not gonna be able to finish off my Milotic, and that's gonna be good game. So some really tough matchups. I'm actually really surprised we were able to come out from this battle. I think I did make some mistakes in this battle though. I think some plays I could have done differently were protect Landers on the obvious Heatran protect, but I've seen back in 2015 actually Choice Scarf Heatran was actually decently common with Charizard Y actually. I faced quite a few of those actually on Battle Spot quite a lot during 2015, like around Japan Nationals time. So yeah, I wasn't sure if it was Scarf. I guess it kind of makes sense. I've seen Shaka and Choice Scarf on that team in 2015. Yeah, so luckily, even though it didn't turn out, like the battle was looking pretty downhill with that Feeny, being able to get the poison jab damage was really nice. I think Nihilego was pretty much worthless at this point. I think Bulu would have been really helpful because one, I think Blue would have actually been able to knock out the Celesteela at the range it was at anyway. Two, like, might have helped the recovery. But yeah, I think protecting Landers is definitely the big play there. I think protecting Landers would have been a great call for me. We didn't get to bring the Mega Evolution actually today. I just realized we didn't bring Mawile at all today. But hope that everyone enjoyed today's episode of VGC 2018 Back to Battles. If you did like it, please leave a like down below. Show your support, as well as feel free to check out my other stuff. Got a lot of content planned, and you can catch up on that with the update video coming out soon. Look forward to that, as well as a lot of stuff coming up on Twitch. I'll be announcing that in the update video as well. So yeah, just make sure you keep an eye out for that update video. But otherwise, have a great day, people. And until we battle again, I'll catch you all later.